Hey guys, welcome to another adventure. Today we are at the former mining town of Cerbat in Mojave County, Arizona. Now, Cerbat at one point played a fairly important role in the history of this county. Gold and silver was first discovered here in the 1860s. It's about 38 miles from the former town of Hardyville, which is now within the borders of Bullhead City. It's about 9 miles from Kingman. And there were several mines here. There were public buildings, over 100 cabins, a school, and even a doctor's and a lawyer's office. It's also located near Chloride, which was also a fairly important and successful silver mining town, which is still inhabited today. It's also near Mineral Park, which was another important mining town, and also near the town of Stockton. The first post office opened here in Cerbat on December 23rd of 1872. It closed June 15th of 1912. And from 1890 to 1902, this town was known as Campbell. It was also the third county seat for Mojave County. Mojave City was the first from 1864 to 67. Then Hardyville, the town I had just mentioned earlier, from 1867 to 73. Then Cerbat from 1873 to 77. It was replaced by Mineral Park, which was from 1877 to 87, until it was finally moved to Kingman, which is still the county seat here in Mojave County. This was a very, very isolated location when the miners first started coming here. It involved taking a 300-mile riverboat journey from Yuma, to Hardyville. And then once you were off that boat, it was still another very rough and dangerous 38-mile trek through hostile Hualapai Indian territory. Cerbat gets its name for the surrounding mountain ranges, which is what you're looking at here, and it is the Hualapai name for bighorn sheep. 3 mines were here: the Esmeralda, the Golden Gem, and the Vanderbilt. And so by about 1912, the town was pretty much dried up. Although people still do have active mining claims back here today. Obviously, you can see the buildings on site here that we can see are not from the 1800s. I believe they are from right around the 60s or the 70s. But I did see a sign, which I will show you in a minute, stating that there's active claims here and there's no prospecting allowed or anything. So, unfortunately, anybody with any aspirations of that, this site's already been claimed. So let me gather my things and we will take a walk around. All right, so we've reached what I thought originally was a portal into a tunnel here. And just for reference, I'll show you. We are a bit of ways from where the buildings are. If you look up on the hill here, let me zoom in a little bit and show you. I believe up there is where the former mill site was. We will definitely go up there and check that out. But anyway, figured since I'm over here, I'll show this to you real quick. So I don't know, maybe if this was a, could be cold storage or dynamite storage, or they were just digging around in here and didn't find anything that would warrant them doing any more than what they did. But as you can see, it's, really doesn't go very deep. But I thought it was pretty cool. All right. On to the next. Okay, so we are at the first building that we're going to check out, which is this, what I believe was most likely a control room of some kind. We'll take a walk up here. Just a heads up too for anyone who wants to come out here and see it for yourself. A lot of wasps, which is lovely. I'm just really not a fan. I've had bad experiences in the past, so trying to kind of dodge them. They like to land on you and follow you around, but this is their desert, I suppose. So here's what's left. Not too much. Just some pipes. Potentially for air, maybe for water. And also, just so you know, you are completely allowed to be here. The only thing you're really not allowed to do around here is prospect. Which, as much as I love these sites, I am no miner. I mean, you can see it's still active in one form or another. I mean, there's evidence of people being here very recently. I've seen a couple of trucks come through. So, you know, I would say it's a fairly well-traveled area in that respect. It's pretty easy to get to. At least so far, the road has been really not bad. There's a couple of dips, but you should even be able to get back here with a car so long as it's not too low. So here's what's left of a collapsed workshop, I believe. And from what I understand, not even all that long ago, there was more here and it was in better shape. But I think it's important to document this stuff before it just totally disappears or you're no longer allowed to visit or what have you. You know, this is a very, very important part of American history, I feel, especially Western history. You know, mining was a huge draw for people to come out this way and seek their fortunes and hopefully make it big and strike it rich and all that, which unfortunately many people didn't. They were just met with more hardship than what they probably came from, you know, somewhere in Europe or the Midwest or back east. But it's a very unique part of the country overall, I think. Like I said, I do feel it has, you know, significance enough to film and document, and, you know, hopefully people like to see these sorts of things. Especially younger people. I mean, I'm in my early 30s, but, you know, it would mean a lot to me if people tried to keep this history alive, and I'm sure it would mean a lot to others as well. but that's enough preaching. I'll go up to this one here. See what's inside. Not the best place to have a fire, if you ask me, but people do what they do, I guess. This is kind of cool. Old workbench. Formica, I suppose. You know, and just so anybody knows, like, I mean absolutely no disrespect by coming to these sites. Like I just got through explaining to you guys, I'm just here to document things and to show you parts of the past that make this area unique and interesting. You know, I don't take anything, I don't vandalize, I don't do any of that kind of stuff. So if any of you were wondering, I try to leave everything exactly as I find it. It's a very extensive pack rat's nest. I'm not going to be able to probably see all that much in here, but there's some racks on the wall and some plywood and pipes and not much else. This is interesting. What is this? I don't know. Maybe a safe of some kind or what have you. It's a pretty big, fairly thick steel door there. Foundations for something. And these doors are actually kind of cool because they were probably made on site, just out of plate steel. I mean, you can see they're a little crude. It doesn't look like something that you would buy. It looks more like something you would make and weld together and do what you got to do. we're going to pause here for now, and I'm going to go take a ride up to where the former mill was. So I will see you guys up there. Alright, so I did wind up taking a ride up to the former mill site here, and unfortunately it is now private property, so we will not be able to explore any further than what we can see right here. But you can see evidence of tailings piles and what was potentially maybe a water tank. And I'll give you kind of a little panoramic view of the location here. You can see out here is the Black Mountains, which in the Black Mountains is a pretty well-known former mining town of Oatman, which most people know for the burros, the wild burros that wander through the town that you can feed and pet and get to interact with. And I will highly recommend anybody to go see Oatman. We were just there a couple of days ago, and it was awesome. A lot of history, a lot of cool little stores. The burros are a lot of fun. Just don't bring your dogs around them. Burros are naturally defensive against coyotes, and they do not really see much of a difference between a dog and a coyote. So just a warning there. I actually did see one go after a dog while I was there. Nothing happened. The dog was fine. The burro was fine, but wasn't too happy to see it. You can see there's a water tank on that side. Let's see if we can spot them. There's some cattle over there. Let me see if I can pick them up. Yep, there they are. So you'll see quite a bit of that back here too, in this whole area in general. I'm sorry about that. But yeah, anywho, that's going to do it for this location. Hope you enjoyed some of the facts I was able to share with you. If I can find any of the old historic photos of the town, I'll be putting them up at the end of the video. But other than that, I hope you enjoyed this little journey today. And yeah, take care, have a good one, and I will see you next time. So here's a little bonus footage. I was kind of disappointed that the mill was blocked off in private property. So as I was heading out, I just checked Google Maps for I don't know, anything else in the area that looked kind of neat. So I found this. It was about a half-mile hike or so. The road to get up here is not really conducive to a pickup truck with stock suspension, so I just parked and walked. So obviously another mine. I don't know what this one was called, or if it really had much to do with Cerbat, or was just kind of its own operation. But there's 3 vertical shafts in this little area here, and they all look fairly deep. I can't see the bottom. But, yeah, I mean, we can, let's see what we hear. So, take this guy and it's deep enough. So, I already kind of walked this area before I started filming, just because these are not, obviously not fenced off. But yeah. Some kind of a jar or a jug. But yeah, I mean, there was nothing marked private property or anything of that sort on the road, so. But let me show you. A little bit of a rock wall left. And kind of small foundation. Probably for a hoist, I would think. An old tank. Here's vertical shaft number 2 with some sort of little small foundation and timbers, obviously, that have since collapsed into the shaft. So let's give it another listen. It just stopped. So that one's pretty deep. So, but I mean, look at this view, huh? And again, these are the Black Mountains here you're looking at way off in the distance here. And then here's the third vertical shaft. Let's see. I don't know if I really want to go down there or not. Kind of not really a nice way to get down there, and I only trust these tailing piles so much. But I guess we can give this one a rock test as well. There we go. That didn't sound like it was too deep, but who knows? But yeah. I mean, here's evidence of something, maybe like for a hoist system or like a small tram, something of that nature. And you can see a piece of cable, pretty thick cable there. So, yeah. I don't know, like I said, I was a little bit bummed because the other videos I had seen of that site, you were still able to go over to that mill. So that's why it's important to film these things now, because it's always in a state of change. It's always a possibility that buildings get knocked down or the property gets bought and it's no longer accessible to the public. So anyway, that's really going to do it this time. And once again, I appreciate everybody who tunes into these. And if you could like and subscribe, I would really appreciate it. I try pretty hard to plan these out and bring these things to you, and I hope at least a handful of you get some entertainment and educational value out of these. And I think we'll end it staring off into the abyss here. So, all right, guys, take care. See you next time.